Today I'm going to show you a fall card with a new card sketch. So I first wanted to show you what the Gilded Autumn Specialty Designers paper looks like. Okay, lots of beautiful prints and patterns, and it has early espresso in it. It has crumb cake, Cajun craze, mint macaron, and it also has metallic gold and metallic copper, and the base for it is whisper white. So let's take a look at these really quickly. There's one, here's the back side. Here's another with the copper foil embossed on it. Leaves and acorns. Nice herringbone. Can I show you that nice herringbone pattern on the back? This, I had used this, all of my paper like this for a card swap I did recently. So I only have this little bit to show you, but it's beautiful as well. Some pumpkins and gourds. And this is just a nice subtle background. I love that. And then this one, which to me looks like pine cone petals. And then this one, which we'll be using in today's card sketch. Okay, so I'm starting with a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of very vanilla cardstock as my base. And I scored that at 5 1/2 on the long side and folded in half. I'm then going to add a piece of the Cajun craze, which is cut 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I have 2 pieces of the Gilded Autumn Designer Series paper. I'm going to use the more colorful side here. And these both measure 1 7/8 by 5 inches. 1 7/8 by 5 inches. And I'm just going to mount these on that Cajun craze cardstock. And I would like to have even spacing around the top, bottom, and left and right sides, and the middle. I'm going to scoot this left one over a bit, trying to get some better spacing in there. You might want to use the multi-purpose glue when you're doing this. That gives you a little time to maneuver and space here. So you just have that little bit of Cajun craze showing, showing between the two. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right. Then I told you you needed 2 4-inch strips. One measures 3/4 of an inch and the other measures 1 inch. You could make these both Designer Series papers. You can make them both cardstock. I chose to do the larger one with this pretty striped DSP, and then I have the mint macaron that I'm going to put on top of it. And again, I'm just going to, probably should have used my multi-purpose glue to help me move things. Oh, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty even on top and bottom. And I'm going to adhere this to the center of my card front. And each of these ends will match up with the Cajun craze size. Just like that. Okay. Now I want to show you, I do have this oval. And at this point, you can see I can make my card go either direction. Okay. I'm going to do it like this, I believe. Although I'm not sure we might play around with this because I was thinking I was going the other direction. Actually, maybe I will go the other direction because the sentiment I wanted to use is my heart is grateful for you. I'm trying to decide, oh, I could do that. But you can see it would work easily either direction, and the card could go either direction as long as your designer series paper is not a one direction paper. Okay. Sounds like the boy band One Direction. Okay, so let me pull out some, I don't have a scrap of Very Vanilla, so I'm going to go with the whole sheet and just cut some off. And I'm going to do some stamping because this is a photopolymer set. I do want to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat to make sure I get even stamping throughout. And I'm going to stamp My Heart is Grateful for You. And I'm going to stamp that with Early Espresso ink. Wow, there's so many on this morning. Great, I'm glad you're here. I always think Make It With Mary Monday is a nice way to kickstart our week in a very fun, positive way. I know it helps me get me motivated and going for the week. Okay. Now I want to add some of these other things from the stamp set. And to know where I want to place them, I'm just going to lay my die over the sentiment I stamped, so I can see about how much room I have there to do some stamping. And I think what I'm going to do is stamp, whoops, I'm going to stamp this long leaf. And I'm going to do something like that. So it will go off the page a bit, okay? And to coordinate with the colors that I have in my designer series paper, I'm going to use the Mint Macaron. So I'm going to estimate right about there, and all I have to do is slide that die out. Okay, if I want to get another look at how it is, I just do that. Well, that looks good, except I think I'm going to add just a little bit more over here on the side. Go down a little bit, I think. It's okay if I go into the letters a little bit because this is a light color I'm using. That looks pretty good. What do you think? Okay, now if I want to add a little bit more color to those leaves, you can see we have some two-step stamping, outlines and solid pieces. So I'm going to add a little bit of color on the inside of those leaves. And when I do this, I'm actually going to, just see what I'm looking at here. Okay, I'm going to stamp on my scrap paper first, and then I'm just going to match up this solid stamp with the outline I already stamped, just like that. And I wanted it to be a little bit light. That's why I stamped off first and then went to stamp on the cardstock, because you can see all the details in those fine leaves. I wanted that to show up, those details. I'm going to do the same thing with the second one here, just like that. And I think that's all I'm going to put on there. So let me bring in my Big Shot. Oh, I should tell you one thing. about this beautiful autumn stamp set. You can purchase it as a bundle. And with that bundle comes these 3 punches. So you get 2 leaf punches and an acorn punch. And these do coordinate with the stamps. And I believe they may even coordinate with some of the paper. In other words, you'd be able to cut out some of the different images from some of the designer series paper in the Gilded Autumn collection. Okay, so that's a really nice bundle. I love those smaller punches to create accents on our cards and paper crafts. All right, and now I want to cut out my oval here. On the list of things for you to bring to the Make It With Mary session, I said 2 nesting ovals. And I said like 3¼ inches to 3½. Know that that's just an estimate. You may choose to use the nesting oval dies like I did. I'm just using 2 of the plain oval shapes, but we also have the scallops that comes as a set. Or you may have chosen to use some of the stitched ovals in the Stitch Shapes dies collection. That's a mouthful to say. Stitch Shapes dies. Okay. I'll put these up here so I don't lose them. I'm working on another project with those. So now I'm just ready to mount this here. I'm actually going to put dimensionals between the 2 oval layers. Just change it up a little bit. A lot of times I just glue the smaller on top of the larger, and then I use the dimensionals underneath the larger one. So this just changes it up a wee bit. And now I'm ready to place that on my card front. I'm going to make a vertical card, but you can see this works nicely in a horizontal position as well. Or if I would have done different stamping, put something different, maybe put the leaves up here, or just stamp leaves and pine cones, things like that with no sentiment or a smaller sentiment, I might have choose to make my oval vertical on a vertical card. All right. Okay, and I can think of a very pretty embellishment to put on here. Let's see if you can think of the same one I can. See if you're going to name the one I'm going to pull out. Anybody have a guess which embellishment I'm going to use? I'm going to use some of the gilded gems. I'm going to put 2 of these large gems, 1 on each side of my ovals. Just like that. Whoops. It's a little higher. This one's a little lower. There we go. Okay, what do you think? A really nice card sketch, very easy to do, right? Any questions about that? Here, maybe I can do some stamping on my envelope as well. How about if we do some Cajun Craze leaves? And I'll do it the same way that I did before. stamping the outline and then the center. And I'll do a couple different colors here, just so that you can see that again. So because it's a photopolymer set, you know that I need the Stampin' Pierce mat, right? That ensures I'm going to get some nice images. And I'm going to get some small blocks here. And one thing is, when I showed it to you, I showed it in a way that I stamped the outline first and then I put the center inside. You can also do it the opposite way. Just try it both ways and see which is easier for you. I am doing the Stampin' Off technique for this. Just because I want some lighter. Okay. This one's harder for me to see. Okay, not too bad. Or if you do it the other direction, like I did first, you can stamp your outline. Stamp off with your solid piece and then add that. Now I know which way I prefer and that I think is easiest. What do you think? For me, it's easiest to do the outline first and then add the solid portion to it. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with my mint macaron. Just like this, and maybe a little like that as well. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing, stamp off and put in some of my solid color, and I'll stamp off again and do a little more solid color. I feel like I need a little bit more leaf over here to kind of balance things out. Let me do this. Okay. And there you are. What do you think? Oh, Alice, thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate that a lot. And once again, good morning to Alice and Heather. Let's see who else is here. Patricia, Fran, Katie Cooper, Kathy Deal, Pam, Debbie Moser, Marilyn, Jackie, Sharon. Oh, two Sharons in a row. Sharon Van Winkle and Sharon Shreve. Joyce Lutterby, Susan, Mary Lou, Julie Heights, Julie Williamson. I think I got everybody. I hope I got everybody. So thanks for spending part of your Monday morning with me. I don't know about you, but Mondays are usually pretty busy and pretty hectic for me as I start my work week. And I'm sure it is a busy day of the week for most people. So please know that I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing. And I look forward to helping you with your orders and your creative ideas with the new holiday products. And remember, our holiday catalog launches tomorrow. So I ask that when you order, you can contact me to order, or you can order online using my August host code. And I think that's all I have for you. Let's see. I missed a couple times. Alice says, oh, she's quite busy on Mondays. Laundry, 7 kids, cooking. Oh, yes, very busy. Sharon Shreve, I'm glad you remembered to join in. Have a great week, and I will see you soon.